Hi, all. Welcome to One Pitch Catch. We are talking a few, maybe like 10 hours after the final ended with RCB winning for the first time in forever, like the song goes in the movie Frozen. I think we called it here first a couple of days ago. We both felt that RCB had the edge over PBKs, and I think fairly so. And you kind of saw it in how the final played out. I got the feeling that the PBK's players were a little overawed by the occasion. They didn't play the same fearless type of innings that they had been playing over the last couple of months. And it seemed like the experience that RCB's internationals had, whether it was Josh or Virat or Phil Salt, Booby, uh, who else? All of them, whatever experience they
Even
could bring in.
Livingston and Jitesh
Even
have.
Livingston, whatever experience they could bring in, they were able to get through the circumstances. Whereas, yeah, I mean, PBKs did have Shreyas, they did have
Minus.
Steiners and Ashdeep, but they had far too many uncapped Indian players who probably had not got exposed to these kind of final situations that may have played a part, right? What do you think, Ganesh?
I think the same. The uncapped players were the reason why they came this far. They played fearless cricket, but this time I think especially the qualifier one played on their mind. They continued playing that fearless cricket, but it worked against them, and the team was dismissed for 101 all out. They were against the same opposition. RCB, so that they probably wanted to get somewhere in between their fearless brand of cricket and conservative cricket. They got dragged towards the conservative
Stuck.
conservative form of cricket with RCB's bowling and all those things. So they never completely got going. Especially in the little bit, Josh English got going, and towards the
Yeah.
end, Shashank got going. So that actually getting caught between the fearless cricket and conservative cricket played into their minds. But I mean, to start with, if you see the RCB innings also, they should have got to 220 and the 190. The wicket was definitely a 210 wicket. The way all batsmen batted, except Virat Kohli, who definitely played a bad T20 innings, given that it is an IPL final. 43 runs of 35. I mean, in today's world, even holding one end up, scores at 150. You see, Gill plays that for GT, and everybody plays that. I mean, this is at 122 strike rate is just not
Yeah.
acceptable. I mean,
If you're being an anchor, if you're an anchor in T20, you have to score at 140 or 150, not at 125.
exactly. And for a moment, I thought he's not retired from Test cricket, or probably he's still showing his credentials in ODI cricket, which he is still not retired. 122 scoring at 122 is very good in ODI cricket, but not in
Yeah.
T20. In spite of that, in spite of Virat's innings, RCB won. That goes to show how good bowling unit they were actually
Yeah.
yesterday. Throughout the series, the RCB bowling unit has done well. I mean, each game one person has stood up, but overall as a
Correct.
bowling unit they have done very well. That's what has helped them win this tournament,
Right.
I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I think you saw that with Krinal's bowling also, right? I mean, he at various points of time in the whole tournament, he has more than done his bit. Not necessarily every game. I'm sure there have been games that he didn't do well, but when he did, he was making a big difference to their bowling attack. He had lots and lots of questions for the batsmen, and again, the experience that he has had over the years showed, and he's won tournaments with Mumbai. All of those things, I think, come into the picture. Terms of how you perform on that given day. Yeah, I definitely think Mumbai were, Punjab were around 20 to 30 runs short. It definitely did hurt them. Sorry, RCB were 20 to 30 runs short. It definitely could have hurt them. I just think Punjab were worse than RCB because they didn't play the type of batting that they had shown over the last couple of months.
I think Krunal Pandya made up for the 20 run shortage, and he made the 190 still look 210 with his
Right,
bowling. I mean, you see, though he bowled 2 for 17, it looked like a 5 for 5 out of 4 overs. That's how
right.
effective that bowling was, I feel. So, Krunal Pandya was adjudged man of the match, rightly so. That helped. And like I said, they were overawed, PBKS. I mean, though Priyan Sharia looked a little overawed, less overawed than compared to all others. The moment he fell to Hazelwood to a brilliant catch by
Mm.
Salt near the boundary, and then Krunal Pandya choked and choked and choked, and they just couldn't get out of the choke
Yeah.
until Shashank came. I mean, even Josh English, he hit a six of
Yeah.
Krunal Pandya of the first ball of an over. But after that, he just gave one
After
run in
that,
that over. So, yeah, Krunal Pandya
even
was,
Shashank's innings, if you exclude the last over, he was struggling. Like in the last over, it was pretty much a done deal by then, and he probably just went a little berserk, more in hope
it
than
was like
anything
a
else.
MS Dhoni innings. There
Yeah,
was hitting three sixes in the last over, and it does.
correct. Yeah,
I mean, it just ensured that they lost by 6 runs. The scorecard says they lost by 6 runs. You could think that
yeah,
it
it
would
was
be a
much more
close
than
game. It
that.
was
Yeah,
not as close as a 6 run
yeah,
defeat. I mean, and I think the last 2 overs they had almost done, especially when Stoinis got out. Bhuvi bowled that brilliant over to dismiss Vadera and Stoinis in the same over.
yeah,
So I think when Stoinis got out, I think the game was done. Because if
yeah,
Stoinis had been there, Shashank could have played singles and
correct. Yeah,
hitting could have been done from both sides. The moment that didn't happen, Shashank had to do all the heavy lifting. It became very difficult for him. He couldn't play singles. He had to play dots when there could have been singles. So that didn't help. And one more batter staying on would have helped Shashank. And the
yeah.
way Shashank is batting has been a revelation, not just this year, the last year and this year. I definitely think Shashank should be part of the India T20 setup, given the fact that the finisher role is between Rinku
Mm.
Singh and Shivam Dubey these days. I think Shashank deserves definitely a place ahead of Rinku and Shivam there. But I think he's 33. That could go against him.
I mean, it
This
depends, right? I mean, it depends upon what you're building up for. There's a T20 World Cup. I think 26, there's a T20 World Cup,
Yes,
is it?
yes,
Yeah, so you could still opt for just for that, right? He's not somebody that you want to continue for 5 years. Even if he does a good job for 2 years, why not? That's what a lot of teams are doing nowadays anyway. Yeah, it was a bit of a lone hand, which you kind of felt sorry for him because you could see the frustration was just building up whenever he couldn't connect and whenever he saw Nehal Vadera was really, really struggling. It's almost froze. So it was a little sad seeing them like they had demonstrated a lot of their ability over the last couple of months. And then on the day that technically it mattered the most, although you could say, I mean, Punjab got all the way here because of all they've done in the past. So you can't really discount that. But on a pretty crucial day, they fell short. I kind of think Marcus Stoinis should have come in at least one spot earlier if that was possible. But then maybe there was a whole left-right combination and just placing trust in these youngsters, the Indian youngsters as well may have been a factor. They'd worked for them, right? So why not? I think from that perspective, Shreyas getting out early was pretty important for RCB and like Romario, who you would not expect him to be the one that gets Shreyas. Josh Hazelwood is probably more likely to get Shreyas than Romario Shepherd. Romario also makes up for his dropped catch, very easy dropped catch earlier, I think, of Prabh Simran Singh.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he got Shreyas out with probably the only decent ball that he bowled, and that pretty much had a big impact in how things played out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if Romario's wicket of Shreyas was a very important turning point, I feel, because if Romario hadn't dismissed Shreyas and Shreyas had got going, RCB would have been forced to bring in Hazelwood for his third over since he had bowled two in the power play. So
Mm.
bowling Hazelwood for the third over as early in the innings would have been very difficult, detrimental to them because they would have only 1 over of
Yeah.
Josh left for the death. So it would have been difficult. Now this Romario solved that problem for Rajat Patidar, so that actually helped. Um, and overall, I think throughout the series, I think RCB have been deserved winners this year with the way they have turned up as a team. I think that talks so much about what you do in the auction, right?
Mm.
Like because what were they? What do you see anything different in their auction strategy compared to last year and this year, Jaga?
I mean, not specifically with last year, but in the past, if they had a 30 crores budget, they would have picked Gale and Virat and AB de Villiers and some stars for like 27 crores and had 3 crores available for some bowlers. They clearly didn't do that. They went for a much more rounded squad with a good balance between bat and ball. I think all of it's good learnings, right? And it's good learning for other teams that are part of this tournament as well in terms of how you go about the auctions. We saw how Chennai failed from an auction perspective. As long as the teams take the learnings and come back better next year by through trades or whatever, I think they'll all be better off. I think that's pretty much the biggest learning that we've seen. Even Punjab did a pretty good job with the auction. Now in hindsight, you feel that where they probably one uncapped Indian player too many, but then like you said, these are the same players that had brought them all the way till the final. So it's just one match in which they didn't do a good job. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty good tournament in terms of just the evenness of all the games for the most part. We didn't see too many uh, like we didn't see too many last over finishes. We didn't see too many one-sided games. It was a sort of middling from that perspective. But I think the top four teams that were there at the end were definitely the ones that deserved more to be there. And then obviously definitely the best two teams were in the finals and the better team won. Thankfully, it was RCB, which means that every year we'll now have a holiday on 3rd June in Karnataka where we are.
Confirmed, Jega. Is it confirmed? Not sure if it's confirmed.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean RCB were the deserved winners definitely. If Punjab had won, also we would have probably said the same thing, because both of them were were not there by luck. They were
Yeah.
there with their hard work and the team that they had built. And RCB, all of them, you go from top: Phil Salt, Virat Kohli, Devdutt Padikkal, a little bit of Mayank Agarwal, Jitesh Sharma, Romario Shepherd, Tim David, Bhuvi, Josh
Livingston.
Hazelwood, Suyash, Krinal. I mean, everybody contributed, and I mean, somebody stood up every game. That's what happens with good IPL teams when they win. So it's not those two,
Right.
three stars who just keep doing and they can't win tournaments. When they have to win in an IPL, there should be a lot of people who should have put their hands up in one or two matches that happened with them. So that's why they are where they are today, basking in the glory of their first IPL win.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be celebrations in Bangalore, I guess, for the next few days. And then in a few days' time, we have the World Test Championship final coming up between Australia and South Africa in England, and then followed next by the India-England Test series. In the meantime, there's other cricket going on for sure.
One thing, going back to, I mean, yesterday Virat Kohli cried and all after the win. I don't understand this concept, Jaga, because I remember Virat Kohli happily laughing and talking with Pakistani players after losing a Champions Trophy final with against Pakistan, and I don't understand. I mean, honestly, I don't know what it means to players. What these big tournaments, what means crying after winning an IPL final and laughing with the opponents after losing a Champions Trophy final. I am not able to comprehend this. So, which is bigger for them? I don't understand. I mean, IPL is big. I understand, but when you compare,
Probably
uh,
the 17 years of not having achieved anything that kind of comes into the picture as well, right? Plus, just the optics of it. Yeah, I mean, now if you're going and being friends with Pakistani players after a match, that's not going to look good. But in that, as of that date, it was probably not a bad idea. I think generally the players do get along. I think you could sort of. I think yesterday, towards the end, Virat was saying this, so maybe he was just announcing that I'm going to cry or something like
yeah,
that.
I
So
think
people see the
that is
cameras
his.
on me.
I think that's his PR tactic. I feel so, and I also feel that. I mean, though they are completely deserved winners, I think they overdid a bit with ABD, Gale, and Virat and all towards the
Yeah.
end. I feel.
It
So
almost seemed like Gale couldn't make up his mind in terms of who to support because he
exactly,
had an
and a
RCB t-shirt
turban.
and a turban on top.
Turban, yeah. So since he had played for
Yeah,
Punjab also, so that's how
uh,
we. So he would have been happy at the end of the day, whoever won. I
correct.
think.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
great.
pretty much a wrap.
That wraps the IPL coverage from One Pitch Catch. Like I said, we'll be back in a few days with more and more cricket. We're not going away anywhere. So please do subscribe to us and share the links, give us the feedback.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Bye.